Record. All right, go ahead.
that was funny. All right. So we're back with another community meeting. Like I said, it hasn't been too long. However, we really need to have this discussion and all that good stuff because it's long overdue, and it's been on my mind consistently. I don't know what to do. That's why I scheduled this so I can get member feedback and you know actually try to understand what you guys want, because that's my top priority. I don't care what I want, right? Because if this was how I wanted it, there would be a lot of different changes in Eastside that we haven't made yet, just because I don't think the community wants that. So I do what's best for Eastside Roleplay instead of what's best for myself. There's people that wouldn't be here. Not people that wouldn't be here, but like certain things that happen in our Discord will not slide, but community has been like, hey, it's just a little like too strict, so let's just let this slide. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's actually a pretty valid point. It is quite strict, so we let it slide. With that in regards, we're going to commence the meeting. So quite frankly, the first thing that we are going to talk about is, like, this meeting is nothing major, right? Actually, correction, it's full of major things, but it's nothing like, nobody is you know how can I put this? Nobody is like required to do anything in here. It's just we're here so we can hopefully get a couple votes out of you guys, and you guys can have a say on what happens with our server. So, with that being said, our first kind of topic that we have to talk about today is the Eastside Roleplay community has been relatively inactive. Is not the right word. It's small still, right? We've been up for almost a year and a half, and we're still averaging 5 to 6 people. That's better than what it was 3 months ago, or 4 months ago, or like in January, that kind of area. It was like so dead. Actually, no, January started to pick up like before Christmas, um, before the end of like, it was a good while ago. We have been growing, um, but for the longest time, we've been averaging like 3 people, and those 3 people were just ownership. Now we are getting random people on, which is awesome. I really appreciate you guys coming out. However, we still do need to grow a lot more. I know a lot of people are threatening to leave because they're like, this is inactive, and I'm agreeing. I'm fed up with it. So, in the suggestions chat, I'm going to start a new thread on what do you want to see from Eastside, and that's unrelated to anything we're going to talk about today. But the what do you want to see from Eastside is going to be full with like, what is something that you see in other 5M servers that are like, let's say you play on like Riverside Roleplay, and you're like, oh well, these guys do this, this, and this. I love it. This is why I joined. You can put that in that thread in the suggestions, and it'll be like, hey, we want this. This is cool. Not many servers have this. Let's do something similar. Maybe not exactly, but let's do something that screams, hey, we're unique, right? So we're going to have a whole bunch in there for you guys to, vote on and have discussions with each other. And there's lots to do. And that's just going to ensure that you guys, as the community, have a say on what occurs and what's added to the server. Which brings us to the next topic. Development is going to be changing. We're not going to be focusing on LEO as much. We're going to start to focus on civilians and all that good stuff a lot more. So for those of you that are, quite keen on civilian roleplay, you're going to get a lot more of that. It's going to be a lot higher quality because a lot of our staff has pointed out. They're like, hey, our server for LEO, there's not a better one out there. But for civilian wise, it's pretty bland. We have a couple buildings, we have a good amount of EUP for them, but it's like scripts wise, all that good stuff, it's lacking. So we are going to work on that and improve. And on the topic of development, this is where it gets extremely controversial. So we're going to have a whole discussions tab. I'm going to make a new Discord channel. This channel's intention is quite frankly going to be to spark conversations between you guys, and by the end we're going to make a poll. And the reason we want you guys to discuss is because this is a huge decision that Eastside Roleplay is not sure what to do. This is the thing that's been on my mind. This is what's been keeping me up at night, etc. So basically the discussion, the point of it, like I said, is so that you guys can talk as a community to kind of influence the vote. So if for whatever reason you want, like, I'm not going to mention it yet because I kind of want it to be like a somewhat big reveal, but let's say point A, you want it to be point A, and we're currently point B. So what you can do is you can have a discussion with the fellow members within the server, and you can be like, "Hey, we should do point B." I can't remember. Did I say it was point? Yeah, we were already point B. So it's like, "Hey, we should do point A because point A is cool because reason one, reason two, reason three, reason
God
four."
damn. I'm gonna mute.
Um,
I'm here.
and
Sorry.
you can, yeah, no, you're good. And then you can, try to, influence that kind of community, and you can try to sit there and be like, this is my reasoning as to why we should do it, and then you can have like valuable discussions, and people can try to understand it, and people who don't understand what point A would be, it's like, hey, this is what it is, just in case you don't know, and this is why I want it, to try and make it fair so that everybody has a say in what happens. Now, without further ado, I'm going to announce what that change is, and I will say it is something that I don't not want to do, but I don't want to do the work. Um, However, that being said, I would love to see it. I think it would grow us. I think it'll have benefits as well as its downsides. That's where I need the community to be like, hey, this is what we should do because this, and this, and then that's all. But quite frankly, guys, Eastside Roleplay is starting to debate whether or not we should become a QB Core server. And the reason we're doing so is because we've had this suggestion thousands of times in the past from ex members, current members, etc. Um, Sadly, he's not with us anymore, not because he's like injured or like deceased or anything, but he's just for reasons I can't disclose, he's not with us. He didn't get in trouble or nothing, just in case that spikes your curiosity. Um, but our old staff manager, Doohickey, he unfortunately did have to retire, which is 100% okay, right? I respect his decision. He worked hard here at Eastside. He definitely helped us develop a lot, and a couple of the things he said made a lot of sense. um, Doohickey came from QB Core servers. He was playing in them for pretty much his whole FiveM career was on QB Core, and then he's like, "Hey, this vMenu thing looks cool." So he hopped on to go and test a couple things, and he's like, "Hey, I should really like this community," and he stayed. Um, but what he noticed is he's like, vMenu servers are full of trollers. vMenu servers aren't as popular, and the reason they're not as popular is because they're not easy to get members on. Right? People don't care about or about vMenu as much as they do QB Core. So that's where we come to you guys, and we want to hear your voices about what is your opinion about QB Core? Do you guys want it? Do you guys not want it? And like I said, I'm going to make a discussion. So there's going to be two threads in the suggestions. There's going to be QB Core slash vMenu discussion in there. That's where you guys can talk with the community and be like, hey, we should have QB Core because we should have vMenu because, and you can have those debates. Um, Staff will be monitoring that, by the way, guys. So if it does get heated and you may get timed out, know that this does not mean you're in trouble. Okay, this is just us being like, okay, this is getting heated. This is not what this channel is intended for. You can get timed out, or we will go personally into the channel permissions and remove your speaking access for a certain amount of time, so you can still talk in other parts of the Discord. But there is certain rules about that channel. It's nothing like insanely difficult, but the rules are just quite simple. Keep it civil. Everybody's opinion matters. I don't want to see like in that channel, oh well, you're wrong, and you're wrong. Like if you're like you're wrong because of this, that's fine. Like if it's like not an opinion, they're trying to state a fact or something like that, that's fine. But if you're like, no, your opinion's wrong, you're dumb. Don't do that. That's like just because something doesn't agree or somebody doesn't agree with you does not mean that you have the right to, go ahead and disrespect them. Everybody's opinion in their matters. I'm taking them all into consideration. Um, but that channel will be created within the next 10, 20 minutes. And quite frankly, there will be a second thread about what do you want to see in Eastside Roleplay. That part is staying with the vMenu side right now. If we do, in fact, go to QB, that channel will be completely deleted, and it'll be what are the first things it'll be replaced with. Sorry, another thread asking the question, what are the first things that you want to see in QB from this? Um, So it's like if you really seen like a cool QB script in a different server and you're like, hey, this is what I want to see, and we'll be like new beginnings channel or something like that, where it's like this is what I think we need in our QB, and we can go work from there. But basically, so okay, that's fine. So what we're gonna work on now is I'm gonna make those channels, and yeah, we're gonna talk about what we are gonna need to do, whether or not it be for QB Core or for all these other things. So we will we'll make it good. I promise you guys that. Um, and we are definitely going to continue to work. And no matter what happens, we are going to make sure that everybody gets a say. All right, those channels have just been created. So you guys can go ahead, have your discussions in there, keep them civil. Um, you know, nothing too complicated. You can kind of just be like, hey, I think QB should be in here because blank, 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 blank. I think V menu, that's in the QB core V menu channel. And then we have the what should we add? The what should we add channel is quite simply like, we should add blank, 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 blank because blank, blank, blank. That channel will be still use the suggestions channel for suggestions you have about the server. However, the what should we add channel, that's more for like if you want to post links in there, you should have permissions to do so, which you don't in any other channels. At least you shouldn't. But yeah, no, guys, it's not going to be too hard. I don't mind spending the hours changing everything, converting everything. Eastside will be just as good, if not better, on QB Core. I promise you that. Don't think Eastside Roleplay is going to be changing because of QB Core, and I'm not going to like it. Eastside will be the same quality of development. I'm going to develop countless hours of my life. Nothing is going to change how dedicated I am to the server. Everything is going to be as high of a quality. And the only reason I say better is because QB Core has features that I can do that I can't do in vMenu. But I can assure you nothing will change about Eastside except for the framework. Eastside Roleplay will still be Eastside Roleplay. All the scripts we have will still be in the server. Everything will be there. It'll just be enhanced a little bit. So that's where you guys need to have your discussions. And it's like, well, I think vMenu is better because it's simple or all that good stuff. So without further ado, the community meeting is now over. It's about 15 minutes. It's not too bad. The recording will be posted just in case you showed up late and you want to watch the whole thing. We appreciate you all for coming. Like I said, civil discussions in there is more than I love to see it. Right? It kind of gives me an idea because I, quite frankly, like I mentioned, I can't make this decision, guys. I have been tossing back and forth. I have been waking up thinking, what am I gonna do? Every time I go on like a walk or something, it's like all I can think about is, should we do this? Should we not? So we appreciate you all coming out. We appreciate you guys talking in that channel. Please do so. Remember, um, every opinion matters. Every opinion will be looked at. Every opinion will be deeply considered, and we will not have a single thing go wrong. In those channels, staff will be monitoring them. But like I said, guys, thank you so much for coming. And can't wait to see what you guys have to say. Have a great night.
Alrighty. Alright, I'm ending my recording.